Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Gamefromscratch. And first off, if you hear construction noises, I apologize. They're doing construction in front of my house, behind my house, and it is intermittent and all the time. So I can't get away from it. So if you hear something, I apologize. My noise canceling did not do a good enough job. Anyway, so what we're doing today is we're taking a look at a new retopology tool. And first, an explanation of what retopology is all about. And we'll start things off with Blender with a sacrifice. Goodbye, cube. Instead, what we will bring in is a monkey. All right, here we go. Nice thing about this monkey is generally there are a lot of nice edge loops, like here. Edge loop. Loops all the way around, nice and smooth. Same thing here. Click, edge loop. So that is, again, because all the connecting surfaces around it are made out of quads. Ideally, you want to have your surface as quad-driven as possible for a couple of reasons. First off, it allows you to do things like select edge loops. So you can do quick movements like this, make nice, quick changes to your topology and so on. Works really well with animation tools, etc. Generally, quads are the best. You're going to have some triangles every once in a while, and you're going to want to hide them as best as possible. Like this triangle right here, that messes up the edge loops around it. So when I go to select an edge loop, this is what we get. Same here, edge loop. So it breaks those edge loops. You're going to have triangles, but your idea is to get rid of or minimize the number of triangles in your world. And the way we do this often is by drawing on top of our existing surface using like a kind of a retopology tool, or we use an algorithm to do it. Now, the nice thing is there's actually algorithms built directly into Blender for doing this kind of stuff. You come on down here, for example, you'll find Remesh. I can go to quads over here, go out of edit mode like so, and I could do a quadrum mode refresh. I can say how many faces I want to have. So let's make it like 1,000 faces and remesh that guy. And there is the end result. Now, honestly, this doesn't give the best result. It pretty warped our model for sure. If I undo that though, and let's give it 5,000 faces to work with, we'll do a remesh and you will get a better result for sure. But still, a little bit blocky, but there you see quads all around. That is a very nice thing. Now, one of the things you're dealing with game engines, at the end of the day, your quad is going to be turned into a triangle. There's just no way around that. But the cool thing here is what you'll notice is you've got any quad like this one right here. And let me just come on up here and turn wireframe on like this. Now, if you take any quad and you want to turn it into a triangle, it's super consistent. So what we do is triangulate and then boom. All you do is divide it in half. Divide it in half. You can do that at any point in time. You can divide any rectangle in half just by bisecting it like that, and then boom, you've got triangle. So it makes it super fast to render quads. Now, going the other way isn't always so easy, and that's where these retopology algorithms come in. By the way, before we leave Blender, I want to point out there is another option here as well. So if you go to Add Modifiers, there is this one here as well, the Remesh modifier. I don't find it works that great personally. A number of different options available for it, but you would probably do it this way if you're working in Blender, or you'd do it by hand. So we have a new tool, and that's what we are talking about today. Let me just go ahead and fire it up. It is called AutoRemesher. It was released a couple weeks ago. I was kind of away when this actually came out, so I'm catching up on this one, but it is here. Now, one thing I want to point out right away with this tool, there are two flaws I've seen. First off, this target quads number is completely meaningless. Think of this as a slider of detail. The number of quads, it just completely ignores it. Absolutely. The other thing here is I had to take my resolution down from 4K to 1080p while recording this because this does not do DPI scaling. So this is super tiny on a 4K display, for example. But what do you do here? Well, you load up a model. So let's go in here, pick one out. And then I have a bunch downloaded right now. So the common 3D model set, I'll show you where you can get these if you want to go ahead and test it. And now let's load one up. And I liked this one, Lucy. All right, so this is a pretty dense mesh. It immediately loads the mesh up, by the way. Middle mouse button to orbit or rotate. That's your single rotation there. And then hold down shift and you can pan. So you can see it's running automatically up here. And let's take a look at the hands, because by the default, it's not going to use enough, but it's going to get fairly clean lines. So this is automatic retopology. And there you see, you can lose some detail in your hands and fingers and so on if the value is set too low. And you're also going to see her face took took one for the team for sure. Her face is not looking so great. But another thing you're going to notice here is the 50,000 quad budget gave us 17,000 quads. I got no idea what this slider is meant to be, but what I'm going to do is jack that way up to like 300,000 and we'll do a regeneration. And then you're going to see that the quad mesh that it generates, I find this makes a better quad mesh than Blender does in terms of an automatic tool for doing so. Now you're going to see it when you crank the target polygons up. It takes quite a bit longer. As you see, there's also some options for controlling how they work out, so how you're going to smooth the normals. By the way, you hover over it, you do get a description like that. You can play around with these, and you get an idea of what the end result's going to look like. I find the defaults tend to be about where I want to stick. And you can take, this takes a little bit of time for sure. And I'm going to showcase one other one in just a second, but let's see how this comes out as a quad workflow. So this should, again, other than like a mess of triangles to work with, it should animate better. And the best part is if you're coming in to do any manual editing on it, these edge loops are going to be so much more clean and selectable. So it should just make editing the mesh a more pleasant experience. And you get an idea of how long this ultimately takes. Again, this number is aspirational, I guess we'll call it. It has literally nothing to do with anything. We'll see when we're done. We are not going to have 300,000 quads, but we are going to have more, obviously. And this progress bar was obviously Microsoft inspired because it just is totally random when this is going to finish. So I'll pause for a second. Okay, about 20 seconds later, here is our final mesh. And again, it's a nice, clean topology. There's some things that you would have to clean up by hand, but I got to say, this does, in my opinion, in my tests, it's created much more usable. So you can see some little areas you're going to have to fix up by hand. Like, obviously, that is not an ideal topology right there. But for an algorithm, it's got you a very far way in a very short period of time. And now your hands, with the more polygons to work with, definitely improve. Again, you're going to probably want to do a little bit of cleanup on that. But there you go, retopologized mesh. I think it does a wonderful job. Now, once again, my 303,000 quad budget resulted in 55,000 quads. So I don't know. And actually, it'll even tell you here what the non-quads are. Now, one thing that would be lovely is if you could go into a mode and say, show me all the non-quads. So that way you could see where you may want to do some workflow. And again, keep in mind, having triangles in your finished result is fine. You just want to make sure that they're at the right spot. But I think this does a lovely job. This is very usable after the fact. You could edit this in an editable mesh, whereas the original triangle, you could edit by sculpting, and that's about it. All right, so let's show one other example here. By the way, whatever settings you have here when you open something up, carry over to the next thing you load. So we're going to go ahead, change that one out, and we're going to load in this dragon mesh. And here you can see the original mesh is, that's not really useful. Like, it's a soup of triangles. Like, pretty much every single thing in this mesh is a triangle. We're going to start things off with a very low polygon count, and we're going to lose details as a result. We'll lose some toes and so on. But here again is what we started with on this mesh. This is a triangle soup. This would be, again, you could use it in sculpting, but trying to do anything modeling with this, good luck. And then your animations on this surface probably won't be as clean or nice as you want. And then boom, there it is done. And this is using a lower amount of polygons, and you see that did a really clean and solid job on it. We kept pretty good detail. We're dropping down. We're down to 25,000 quads at this point in time. And that is a nice, clean mesh. Now, on top of that, let's jack that up a little bit. So let's go back to what we did on the other one, and I'll regenerate it, and I'll just pause while this calculates. And there are our rendered results. So 221,000 budget gave us 57,000 quads. Again, that one is aspirational. But you can see here, the results are pretty clean and smooth. So you can see like this loop goes, and then here you're going to want to fix that one up. So that one's not an ideal. But for the most part, it's pretty solid in the work and the result that it's got. It gets, for a system done cleanup or retopology, it's done a good job of keeping the base mesh. It's done a good job of flow on the edge loops that it has created. I'm actually pretty impressed with how this works. Again, there are versions of this built into Blender, or if you're using Maximize, they will have a built-in result as well. But in this particular case, you can see it's an alternative, and I think generally it performs better than the Blender built-ins. And then when you're done, you basically come on up here, you can save it out, and save it as an OBJ file, which you can then import into wherever you want. So super straightforward there. So this guy is available in source code form. It is up on GitHub, so it's called AutoRemesher. One of the big things here is they recently did a new release, specifically the 1.0 release, a major release here, and it switched from GPL v3 to the MIT license. That gives you a whole lot more options. So if you want to take some of the algorithms here and implement them in your own project, you can ultimately do so, which is very cool. Where GPL v3 definitely has some more caveats and hangups on how you use it. So that was one of the big things with the change to the 1.0. Obviously, the 1.0 release had a number of other features as well. The only thing I found with it, again, that quad target budget doesn't seem to do anything. And, well, it does. Like, it increases the amount that it can work with, but it doesn't seem to try and actually aim for the quad amount that you've given it as a budget. And it doesn't support HDPI monitors, which are pretty common these days. So if you're trying to use this on a laptop, for example, it is going to be tiny. If you want to go ahead and build it from code, you can do so. There are some dependencies, though, you will see here, such as QuickTime. But at the same time, you could also come over here to the releases and go ahead and just download it. And it is available for Windows and Linux and Mac, which is very nice. So most major platforms are available. By the way, if you want to go ahead and check out the meshes that I used in this example, you can find them linked right here, common 3D test models. So all those various different models that we looked at are available. So if you just want to, you don't have your own models you want to check with, good place to start. And then if you're interested, he has also created a project called Dust 3D, which I covered like 5 years ago. It's a very unique 3D model tool that if you want to go ahead and check that one out, that is available at dust3d.org, completely free. And it does quick modeling and rigging and so on. It's a very unique product, and I probably need to revisit it because it has been quite a while since I first checked out Dust 3D. But it's the same project, and I've got to assume that the algorithms are being shared between them. So it is very cool that this project is now available under the MIT license. That is definitely going to make it more useful. So if you want to adapt the quad technology here into, say, like the Godot game engine, you can pull that code out and do so, which is a nice move. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is AutoRemesher.